2019 was one of the best years for the Indian film business. And then, of course, 2 years of pandemic means it was one of the worst performing industries. Lockdowns, fears of infections meant people stayed away from the movie halls. But if reports are to be believed, things will be looking up now for the industry because of the newfound love for movies coming from the southern part of India. Despite this, there are also movies like Drishyam 2, Avatar and Cirkus expected to give the business a boost in the last month of the year. All of this on the business side. But there is another threat looming for the Indian film industry on the horizon, and that is the ever-increasing trend of boycotts. Especially if it's movies with big stars, invariably there is some problem or the other with the trailers that are released. Sometimes it could be the look of a character in the movie. In the latest round of boycott trends, it's the color of the clothes that Deepika Padukone is wearing in the trailer of the movie Pathan. Today on the show, we're going to try and understand whether these boycott trends actually impact business. Is it one of the big threats or the headwinds that the business is facing? And are things truly looking up? To speak on this, I'm joined today by Komal Nahata, film trade analyst. Kunal Sahni, COO Movie Max, is with me on the show today. And I'm also speaking with Ravi Rai, producer and director. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us on the India Development Debate. Mr. Sahni, let me begin with your take on 2022 overall and the kind of expectations on a movie like the second edition of Avatar.
Hi, thanks. Good evening. 2022 has been a mixed year overall for the movies where Bollywood has not done that great. But there are other content which has done remarkably well, especially regional content which has done good. In fact, great. And the best part is now regional content is being expected across India, irrespective of the language. People are aware. So that's a boom for us. Coming to Avatar, I'm personally a James Cameron fan, and movie coming after 13 years, it's a beautiful movie. And this is a movie which is a pan-India movie. So it's not like a south part is doing good or a east part or a west part. Across India, all cinemas are doing really, really good irrespective of whichever states. And when the customers are walking out, there's only one word which they are saying is, wow. The opening is fantastic. I am sure the movie will have really long legs to do long weeks to come.
Mr. Sahni, there's one estimate going around that the movie will do at least 500 crores. Is that an underestimation or an overestimation?
I will not be able to tell you, but I can surely tell you that, even to get a ticket on the third week will be difficult. So I think you can gauge what it is, and movie is really, really good. And okay, it's not like the best part how we can gauge movie will do good is it's not a particular genre which is liking. All age groups, people are coming as couples, families, and entire group of people are coming and watching this movie and enjoying it. Yeah. So that is a scene which we are seeing in after a long, long time. There was a movie which is, selected and liked by a particular age group or particular genre of a movie, which is a critically acclaimed or a mass movie, how we call. But here, people are coming in large groups. We have seen big families coming in, and they are really enjoying. So this shows that it will run really, really long.
Imagine that's the power of good content. This movie has made a comeback after over a decade. There is a whole generation of cinema goers who've perhaps, not connected with the first edition as some of us have, but they're all loving it. I'm going to come to Komal Nahata on that question of 500 crores that I asked Kunal Sahni. 500 crores is too high or too less?
Anything is possible with this film. I think it will be in the top 5 Hindi films of all time thus far. It could be the topmost also. By that I mean it could outdo the business of Bahubali, the conclusion, Anything is possible because, as Kunal Sahni rightly said, people are loving it. People of all age groups, classes, masses, big cities, smaller towns, everybody is just freaking out on the film. I think it's the strong content along with the visual appeal of the film. The visual appeal is of the kind one hasn't really seen, probably never seen. So when you get content and you get visual appeal, I think there's no stopping the film. And it's like a typical Hindi film with every masala. There are emotions, there's drama, there's high tension drama, there's action, there's family drama, there's bonding. So I think everything that the Indian audience looks for in a commercial film, this film offers. And as I said, visually, at least I haven't seen something like this. And I'm sure if I haven't seen something like this, there'll be millions like me in India, we're talking about India, who haven't experienced this kind of a film. And as I've been saying ever since I saw the film 3 days back, this is not a movie, this is an experience. And one has to actually visit the cinemas to experience this. You can't enjoy this on the small screen. So I think people will make a beeline, are making a beeline. And as I said, anything is possible. It will definitely be one of the biggest ever, if not the biggest.
Komal Nata, I'm getting complete FOMO after hearing this. I haven't booked my tickets yet. And I'm feeling worried.
You must, after your show, you must go.
Okay.
Kunal will help you with the ticket.
I would just like to add, Komalji told me the same when we met on Thursday. And this is the same feedback I've been spoken to around 10-15 guests, all age groups from morning in the cinema. And everybody is saying the same thing.
Let me bring that back to you, Komal Nahata. The kind of fervor that we are seeing around Avatar is also telling me that content is king, and that kind of content has not been manufactured or has not come out of the Hindi movie industry for some time now.
See, content has always been king, but alongside content, there was something called star value, star pulling power, stardom. That seems to be declining now, especially after the 2 years of lockdown, when people got exposed to world cinema, world digital content. That is the time they realize that if content is great, we don't need recognizable faces, which is the reason why South dubbed films with ranked new stars for the Hindi audience, like Allu Arjun, was a ranked newcomer for the Indian audience, for the Hindi audience. Similarly with Junior NTR, Ram Charan. Ram Charan we had seen in a couple of films, but he was not a star as such. But if their films did so well in 2021 and 22, it is because people started appreciating content more than stars. And therefore, now after the lockdown, after the reopening of cinemas post-lockdown, we are seeing that stars can help if the content is good. So great content without stars works. Average content with the topmost stars is not going to work. So producers, Hindi filmmakers definitely will have to pull up their socks, and I'm sure they're already pulling up their socks. And therefore, I think the content that will come in 2023 will be far superior.
Let's hope so.
Yes.
Kunal, I want to come to the other issue that the Indian film industry, that the Hindi movie industry is facing. And, we've been talking about how the contribution of the Hindi movie industry and only Bollywood movies is shrinking. A lot of it is South movies dubbed in Hindi or international movies dubbed in Hindi. I want to understand, do you think this is an impact of the boycott trend? Any major release seems to first have a boycott call. Something or the other becomes an issue. One scene, the one makeup of one character. Now it is the color of a costume a heroine is wearing in an upcoming release. Does that worry you?
I don't think so. I think the negatives attract. How much people are starting talking, that's where Pathan is getting more and more promotion. This will definitely help the movie to do better. And as rightly said by you and Komalji, content, if the content is good, here I'm sure that, a star, a big star like a Shah Rukh coming in with a great content, the film will do really, really well. Boycotts, no. At the end of the day, all the movies which has released and which were boycotted, if the content were good, movie has done really, really well. Every movie has been boycotted, including the big like Brahmastra and all, which is wonders. So it's not the boycott. In fact, I think if the movie has been trending for any reason, right or wrong, it's a promotion which is helping the movie. It's a free promotion which is happening, and people are reading and knowing more about the movie. Now everybody knows when this movie is coming in.
The fact is that the stars are feeling targeted. Let's listen into what Shah Rukh Khan and Amitabh Bachchan said just yesterday at the Kolkata Film Festival. We play that out.
Cinema exposes the vulnerability of human nature by telling stories in their simplest form, as they are lived. It allows us to know each other better. In a way, it is best placed to sustain a collective counter-narrative that speaks to the larger nature of humankind. A narrative that brings to the fore humanity's immense capacity for compassion, unity, and brotherhood. Meeting the world at the world of cinema is the call of the day, not just meeting, but also using the power of cinema as a vehicle for people of different cultures, colors, castes, and religion to better understand each other.
But even now, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure my colleagues on stage will agree, questions are being raised on civil liberties and freedom of expression. Since those early times, there have been many changes in cinema content, production, star system, and the way films are viewed by audiences. Subjects have also been vastly varied.
Ravi Rai is with me as well. Mr. Ravi Rai, I hope you can hear me.
Yes, of course I can.
All right, we lost your feed there in the middle. So we've been talking about a lot of things, but I want you to come in on whether boycotts are impacting the business, and why do you feel Shah Rukh Khan, Amitabh Bachchan finally felt like they had to speak out? Have they said enough?
See, Tamanna, I've said it before a number of times, the cancel culture or the boycott culture, for me, I mean, this is my personal opinion, it doesn't work. I mean, you look at Salman Khan, not Salman Khan, Amir Khan films after boycott, I mean, his films have done big business. I mean, there are, Padmavat has done big business, and there are films which post-boycott or cancel culture have done tremendous business. So for me, it doesn't, those who want to go inside will go inside and watch a film. But if it is a bad film, Tamanna, I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, it gives bonus points and advantage to people, those who call it a cancel culture. You know, I mean, the point now I'll tell you is, we were discussing our industry going through this phase. See, जो बच्चा स्कूल की बस में बैठ के होमवर्क करके जाता है ना, वो क्लास में पकड़ा जाता है. समझ रहे हैं आप? तो हमारी जो इंडस्ट्री है, in the last 2-3 years, I mean, the harvest that we are facing today is that उस बच्चे की तरह जिसने बस में बैठ के होमवर्क किया है. I mean, why does the Cameron takes 11 years? I mean, if you look at all his sequels, or in any Hollywood sequel, they take more time to make a sequel because they work very hard and they work very passionately to see to it that it crosses the original. It's not another easy way out for them. A sequel is a challenge for them. And you look at the passion. I mean, the films that we're talking about today, we've come to a point where everybody comes and bashes Bollywood. And we deserve it, because हम वो वाले बच्चे हैं जिन्होंने भागते भागते स्कूल की बस में होमवर्क किए. We never bothered on the content. So that is why today we are being compared to South, we are being compared to Hollywood, which was not earlier. Until and unless we sit down और इत्मीनान के साथ homework करें. I mean, people have taken 3 years, 4 years to the film that we're talking. Why only Avatar? I mean, the Spider-Man, which will cross the weekend. I mean, Komal knows that. And 500 mark is, if the China market, which is going through a crisis mode right now, I mean, I'm sure Komal knows that. If the China market, the stiffness opens up, it is a sure shot $500 million for the weekend. But we need to sit down, make good. Why does a Drishyam work? I mean, it breaks everything. जिसमें हीरो कुछ भी नहीं कहता, पूरी पिक्चर में चुप खड़ा हुआ है, लेकिन pauses हैं, silence हैं. I mean, a good film is a good film and it works.
You know, I love this comparison of the kid who's doing his homework or her homework in the bus at the last minute.
Yeah, I've been slapped a number of times in the class, na, पकड़ा जाता था.
But Mr. Rai, you would have learned from those mistakes. Is Bollywood not learning? All of 2022 has been
They
the
would.
equivalent
I
of
mean,
slaps from the audience.
you see, Tamanna, if the end product of making a film is not passion, is not making a film, end product or the residue of filmmaking, if we look at 15,000 फुट का पेंट हाउस, 20,000 फुट का पेंट हाउस, 5 एकड़ करजत, तो वो आपकी पिक्चरों में दिखता है, फिर वो कैमरून की पिक्चर में नहीं दिखता.
No, I'm sure Mr. Cameron is not living a frugal monk-like life.
No, no, but they say कि success, I mean, money follows success, na?
Okay. So Komal Nata, Ravi Rai has a very clear line that, you know, the Indian film industry, actually I should be specific, the Hindi film industry is getting what it deserves. But I think we're conflating two issues. One is that audiences are not liking the fare being put out. The second is this troll trend. You know, trolls setting upon a movie the moment it comes out because of their own perceived notions of the actor's political line, don't have a line, the actor maybe has no interest or idea of what they're talking about, but suddenly they become a target. What do you make of that?
You're right. We are mixing two issues. I think this boycott culture, cancel culture is not to be taken very seriously, but because it's not really affecting the box office collections. But having said that, even the marginal, the people on the fringes who decide not to watch a film, why should they be allowed to leave, or why should they be allowed to not watch a film? I think the stars are waking up very late. They should have woken up when 3 or 4 people from the film industry, in the aftermath of Sushant Singh Rajput's demise, in that aftermath, when they started bad-mouthing the industry, that is the time Amitabh Bachchan, Shah Rukh Khan, Amir Khan, Salman Khan, Rajkumar Hirani, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, everybody should have joined forces and given a fitting reply to those 3 or 4 frustrated people who actually ruined it all for Bollywood. If today this boycott culture, cancel culture is gaining ground, it is because of those 3 or 4 people from the film industry, because the public is gullible. The public said, oh, industry ke log aisa bol rahe, matlab sach hoga. They didn't understand that those industry people were a frustrated lot who, for whatever personal agenda they had, they were bad-mouthing the entire industry. There are good people and bad people in every industry. You can't just make a sweeping comment that this whole industry is full of nashedis, drug addicts. If they're all drug addicts, if they're all murderers, if they're all sleeping around, then how do they make blockbusters? How do great films get made even in Bollywood? It's only in the last 12 months that we've not had a very good time for whatever reason. So I think the enemies are from within the industry, and I don't think the stars and the filmmakers are doing enough to set the record straight. Everybody is fighting his own battle.
I want to get Ravi Rai on this. You know, that's a very good point. Is it time they speak up and not in this hesitating way, you know, couched in the middle of a speech?
The industry has given you so much. The least you can do is take up cudgels for the film industry. Everybody is fighting his battle. Everybody is bothered about his film because, I'll tell you, unlike other industries, in this industry, one's film releases probably once a year or once in 2 years. So each one is thinking, jab meri film aayegi, tab dekha jayega. No, it is your industry. You better get up, get going, and finish this, the people who are bad-mouthing the industry, because they are spreading hatred for you, for your children, for your producers, for your directors, and for the lakhs of people whose livelihood depends upon the success of films. I just don't know of what stuff these actors and these stars and these makers are made. They are, if I may use a very harsh term, they seem to me to be spineless, because they have made their name, fame, money, everything from the industry. But when it comes to protecting the industry, they just look the other way, pretending that, oh, I've not been affected. You have been affected. And let me tell you, the person who was in the forefront of bad-mouthing Bollywood, even that person faced the wrath of the industry, faced the wrath of the public, because when the film, her film should have been collecting probably 40 and 50 lakhs in a day, it collected 453 rupees. So she also was at the receiving end, but she will never
People
admit.
are playing with fire. People are playing with fire. They're getting confused about, social media likes equating to actual money on the box office. One has nothing to do with the other. But Ravi Rai, time for Bollywood to then speak out. We're glad we've heard something from Big B and SRK, etc. But, they've left it very vague in the middle of a long speech. You're on mute, sir. You're on mute.
Speak out. Speak out for what? I mean, agar if anybody says we want to clean Bollywood of drugs, तो हम यही कहेंगे कि please come and clean it. I mean, why would we get into कि जाओ पहले उसका sign लेके आओ, जाओ पहले पंजाब साफ करो.
Speak out against this weekly picking of a target depending on which movie is going to release, watching the trailer, finding something to be upset about, and then saying boycott this, boycott that, forcing them to come and give explanations. Speak out against this.
Yes, certainly, yes. I mean, I totally agree there with you that now this is becoming a trend and it is getting very irritating also. Ki every now and then it's becoming, but at the very same time, one of the reasons which I would want to say, ki defend Bollywood or stand up for Bollywood, there is a reason why the fans have dropped their icons like hot potatoes. I mean, they don't want to even walk 25 steps into the theater. Let us reason out that first. Ki all of a sudden, the top stars, who were the top stars, jinki guarantee thi ki 100 crore, 200 crore, they are not going inside. What is the aversion? What are the reasons they are not liking? I mean, itni dislike kyun hai hamare stars ke liye? None of the films is working, So we need to find out those reasons, or is it a saturation point that we've reached there? Ki we need to have a change? Or also, Tamanna, what I feel is, this is my very personal opinion or an analysis that, you see, during COVID, India fought COVID. I mean, we are a country of 130 crore people and we were fighting, we were just a third world and we were fighting it very badly. Mask nahi tha, ye nahi tha. And all of a sudden, Tamanna, the only thing that you could see was the TikToks of Bollywood actors and the kind of TikToks and the reels that were there. That I think perhaps that made a huge dislike for Bollywood stars.
It's an interesting angle. It's an interesting thought. That did the heroes not show up when the country was in peril? Nevertheless, does that justify this targeting? I want to get Mr. Sahani in on this.
No, let me complete.
I have just 2 minutes, so let me just get his point of view. The stories may be boring, maybe they're being lazy about their scripts, maybe they didn't show up as much as they should have during COVID. Does that mean that their work, their clothes, their speech, their words should be targeted today?
I don't think so. And I'm sure it's maybe, yes, the cancel culture, the boycott is going on. If the content is right, we will see the same actors movie crossing maybe more than what it was doing in COVID. And the same people who are trending boycott will come and whistle and dance in the auditorium if the content is right. So yes, it is impacting.
Yeah.
But the only answer to this, apart of they coming and talking, yes, is a right and good content.
Answer them with your work. That's a good point. That's a good point we can end on. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely out of time. But thank you so much for joining us today.